Will we who are in this era witnessing Gaza, will we get to know or see the punishments Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives to the oppressors?
That's in the knowledge of Allah. They're the true justice is a function of the afterlife, um, and it's important to understand that. I don't think, practically speaking, I read some statistic the other day. I actually don't even want to misquote it, but if we were to honor everyone who died in Gaza, just have a janaza for each one of them every single day, it would take something like endless years. I really forgot the number, what it was, but it was like thousands, to just honor each one that has passed, and you know when you think of one innocent child being brutalized, and then you multiply that by 20,000, there's not there doesn't matter. There's no ICC, ICJ, there's no tribunal, there's no Hague, there's no trials that can sufficiently adjudicate the sheer level of oppression and evil and tyranny. And so, alhamdulillah for the afterlife, because God, He will exact His justice on that day, and that, yes, that will be seen by everyone. And you will then فَبَصَرُكَ الْيَوْمَ حَدِيدٌ, then you will see, everyone will see. So the dunya, the world, doesn't really give you back that much, if that makes sense. The world is so limited. The dunya is a limited space. How are we going to unsee endless babies' bodies mutilated? And I don't want to detail, but you guys, everyone, we've all watched. Every day there's a more grotesque video of babies and children, and I never in my life thought I would witness every. Sometimes you're just like, is this real? This is so much. So I don't think you can actually see justice for what's happening in the dunya. You just can't. So whatever tribunals or courts or ISCJs and ICCs and all this kind of stuff need to do to hold accountable, absolutely. But true justice, that's a function of the afterlife. And I think one of the reasons why we see, I think one of the things that maybe perhaps people will now understand the wisdom is why hellfire exists. Hellfire exists, and there's wisdom in its existence. If someone does such a brutal evil, right? What do they say? Okay, we'll sentence them to 100 years in prison, 200 years in prison, 300 years in prison. That's not enough. That's not enough. So now you understand perhaps one of the wisdoms of why hellfire exists. And it's always hard to understand, why would God create hellfire? Well, perhaps we understand one of the wisdoms of hellfire after you see so much pure evil.